Joining us at WRCO, Mike Branninger, Dawn Barrett, and Robin Cosgrove. They're talking about an upcoming event. And Mike, we'll start with you, the Midwest Regional Hub. What can you tell us about?
Midwest Regional Hub is about a 2-year-old organization. It's loosely joined together church leaders, marketplace leaders, people that are interested in, serving Jesus and trying to make their community better places. It draws mostly from Southwest, South Central Wisconsin so far, but plans to expand beyond that. So there's a meeting, some type of meeting in the Midwest Regional Hub about every month to month and a half. So it's been going for a while and good response from it. So that's been really good.
Sounds like you're proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm really happy about what's happening with it. And a lot of people are interested because we're in changing times. That's just, almost anybody could see that. It's just changing times for businesses, for church, for communities, for the government. And in the changing times, people are looking for new ways to connect, make things work. And that's a lot of what the Regional Hub is about, supporting each other, learning what values we have that we can take to other places and help them with. So it's really a good effort.
And you're calling this Hub Fest, is that correct?
This is Hub Fest, the event coming up this weekend, which of course is a takeoff from the Midwest Regional Hub. So the Hub Fest is you might call it a celebration, but it's really a kind of a conference event where we've got some special speakers and efforts that are going to take place that will hopefully help everyone who attends the Hub Fest.
We don't want people to think it's in Hub City, right? Where's it going to be located?
We didn't even think about that. Well, we actually had it booked in Wisconsin Dells because, they've got the interstate, lots of access. And after we had it booked for a long time, they notified us that the facility we were renting was not going to be renovated in time for us to get in there. So we had to do a quick change around, and it's now at Newhouse Richland here in town at the church. So it wasn't intended to be there, but that's where it is now, so people can come out to Newhouse and join the Hub Fest.
Awesome. Dawn, can you tell us a little bit more about the specifics?
Absolutely. So I'm going to start with the agenda. On Friday night, we open registration at 5 o'clock. Our vendor hall will also be open. And the vendors are people who have marketplace ministries. We'll have some book sales. We'll have different organizations throughout the community that are coming there, and they're showing us what they do in the community. Some of them have things that they sell. Some of them have programs. So we're excited about that. After registration takes place and we do some get-together in our main auditorium, we'll do some worship, and then our first speaker is Dave Geary. And Dave Geary has many, many years as an industry partner. And I'm going to say that in that way because he's worked for more than 40 years he's the owner of the Princeton Clubs in Madison. And he also has a new business that he's working in that's about salt. And I think we're going to learn a little bit more about that. He has a book. He's bringing 200 books that he's giving one to every single conference attendee. And I just am interested to hear what he has to say because he unlocks what we don't understand about the connection between business and the kingdom of God. And he's very gifted, so we're excited about that. The next day, we have a gentleman who's coming. His name is Craig Miller. He lives in Michigan, but he travels all over, and he has spent 40-some years also as a clinical counselor. And he works with people who have had trauma in their lives. And as a result of the trauma, there are situations that people need help recovering from. And he has a deep ministry in this area. He also, as a result of working with people with trauma, they find themselves healed and set free in many ways. And some of these healings are physical healings. So he's speaking most of the day on Saturday. Mike's going to tell you a little bit more about him. And then at the end of the day, Mike is going to be sharing his heart yet again about the Midwest Regional Hub and what this means and how people can engage.
Lots of things there, and the two people that you talked about, the knowledge they bring, and the first gentleman you talk about a business sense with the businesses that he owns. That's very impressive.
Absolutely. I've heard him speak a few times, and I understand that he isn't exactly prepped for what he's going to say when he goes on stage, but he receives the message once he gets on stage. So it's always been amazing every time I've heard him speak, and he really drives it home. But so it'll be interesting to see what he has to say to us and to this group that's gathering, that is both from the marketplace and from the ministry.
This is an event, Robin. It's nice that you don't have to travel. I mean, it's right here in Richland Center, and that works out pretty well for you, doesn't it?
Well, that works out well for me.
A lot of work,
and
though.
The people that live here, but this is the Midwest Regional Hub that we're talking about. And Mike's original vision of that was he saw a vision, and maybe Mike would be better to tell it, but he saw a map where there were lights in different places, but there was a lot of darkness in between. And he was told to build bridges between the lights. And so we've been going from community to community in this region, building relationships with other people to make a way, actually building bridges for resources, human resources, natural resources, whatever resources, like this Dave Geary guy and Craig Miller are crossing bridges to come and bring resources to us that we don't have yet. And we're going to be going and doing that in other places. So yes, it is easy for us that live here, but even the vendors, some of them might not be from Richland Center. So it's a good place to come and start mingling, meeting people. If you're a little bit afraid of that, come find me. I'll help you do that.
Yeah, you'd be good at that.
Navigate your way through meeting new people.
Right, exactly. So can people find out more online? Do you have some sources there where people can check that out?
I'm sure we do.
Yes, we do. We have a Facebook page and a website. Sorry. So all of that information is there as well, and along with the link to register. This event is scheduled on Eventbrite. So if anyone goes to Eventbrite, looks up Midwest Regional Hub, or if you look up HubFest 2025, you'll be able to buy tickets there.
Okay. Tickets in advance, can they get them at the door?
Absolutely can get them at the door, and in advance is great as well.
That way you can kind of know how many to plan for. Then.
That's right.
Mike, you were on not too long ago, and you and I were talking about building bridges, kind of the same subject, but if you want to make a difference, it kind of starts locally and then branches out, doesn't it?
Right. The relational building is the key in most things. Just putting information out to people. People are flooded with information. People are flooded with social media. But when we actually communicate with people face to face, and that's what the Midwest Regional Hub has been about, and that's what HubFest is about, communicating face to face, intersecting with people, and seeing who they are, what they're made of, how we can connect and make things better. And that's a lot of what's going on with HubFest too, although Craig Miller, the main speaker there, really specializes in helping people get beyond trauma in their lives. Everybody's experienced some measure of trauma in their lives. So he is an expert at this, and as well as a number of other things. He's written several books, but there's one called Breaking Emotional Barriers to Healing, Understanding the Mind-Body Connection to Your Illness. And so anybody who is struggling with something in that area, a physical illness, a mind illness, something spiritual in their lives, he is as good as anybody I've seen, and I've seen a lot. Yeah.
So he talks, but I'm guessing it's interactive.
It is
the audience?
interactive.
Yeah.
It's a conference workshop, you might say. So people are actually involved, and we call it hands-on. They're probably not going to actually do anything with their hands, but they'll have interaction with each other. So there will be opportunity for people to practice what he's teaching, which will be really beneficial for everybody.
And we talked about vendors too. There will be quite a few vendors there as well.
So yeah, those are what we call marketplace people, but mostly businesses that are setting up tables and just kind of saying, this is who we are, this is what we offer, want to make ourselves known and what we have available made known to people. There will be a number of vendors there. There will be book tables where there's books for sale by the different authors that are there, including me. But so there will be lots of opportunities for that to go on. And by the way, the fee for the conference includes 2 meals, is it, Dawn?
It is. So doors open on Friday night at 5 o'clock for registration and the vendor hall. And then we get started a little bit later in that evening. About 6 o'clock, the presentation starts. But on Saturday, the doors open at 7:30 at Newhouse Richland, and there's breakfast available. It's a charcuterie-style breakfast. You won't go away disappointed. We are working with people who are gluten-free or vegetarian or neither of those. And then in the afternoon, we do have a lunch that's prepared, a full-served lunch as well. We're happy to provide that with the price of a ticket.
Yeah, it's a good deal. I mean, for what you get, it sounds like you get a lot. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our job is to take care of everyone who comes.
Yeah, this is not grasshoppers and honey for lunch. This is a good meal that people are going to get included in. And you can easily spend quite a bit of money on a good meal, but they get the whole conference plus those 2 meals, so it's a pretty great deal.
How many people are we talking? I mean, in the past, what have you seen, Mike?
Yeah, so we're probably going to have 200 plus people at the conference, which is a comfortable size for us. We could take more if there's more that show up at the door. We'd probably go up to maybe 300 and then kind of cut it off there. But yeah, they're coming from all over the area, and so it's a little bit fluid because we're still accepting registrations at the door. That's what we're expecting, 200, maybe 300 people.
What is age appropriate?
Okay, that's a pretty good question because a lot of times kind of church-related events, people want to bring little children with them, and there's an expectation, there's a nursery. We do not provide nursery services. They really need to find other arrangements for that. But the people who would really benefit from it are probably, I'm saying, 14 years on up, until they're near the grave. But he is able to really interact with any of those age groups.
Yeah, I think it's an important thing, a good thing for the community as well, isn't it? Makes Richland Center look pretty good.
It is. It's tremendous. And there will be people coming from all over the region here for this event on Friday. And it makes Richland Center look good, but also the people that have this taking place in their lives are going to be healthier and better when they're done than they were when they began. So that's good for any community to have.
Robin, even if one person is helped or moved by this, you've done a good job, right?
Absolutely. And I want to tell you that actually I have been a person that's been helped. When Craig Miller comes into town, he prepares a prayer team ahead of time. And we had a Zoom meeting with him last Tuesday. And after the training, he asked, does anyone want to be healed? And I jumped to the front of the line and said, I do. Because reading his book, I realized that there was probably a connection with either emotion or trauma or something and the pain in my stomach that I had had for years. So I raised my hand and I apologized to everyone. I'm sorry I got in front of you, but I want this thing gone. And Craig it only maybe took, 10 minutes, Dawn? Dawn was on that Zoom call.
Maybe less.
Maybe less, 5 minutes. And the knot that I had in my stomach since I was probably 8 years old or earlier, I could not remember my life without it. Through the series of just directions that Craig was giving me and my faith, that pit, that ball that was in my stomach and the pain is gone, and basically feels like it's draining out of my body somehow. And I've been able to eat things that I haven't been able to eat for a long time, or when I do, I suffer a really bad stomach ache. But the pain had been there forever, from what I could remember, and that's gone now. So.
And that was over Zoom.
That was over Zoom.
Right.
Yes.
So in person, I would think could be
right?
more
would even be greater.
Effective, right?
Perhaps, yes. So if people have suffered for years and years of something, I encourage them to come. Mm-hmm. Come at least on Saturday, if not the whole conference. And he'll also be at our church on Sunday speaking. So anyone that would like to just come for that day, please do.
Yeah, a lot of us have suffered through trauma. Sometimes I think so far back that you don't even
Exactly.
realize it. Right?
Exactly. And everyone has suffered some sort of a trauma in their life. Every single person. And what we don't do is we don't think about the trauma as a child building up and creating other illnesses in us. And that's the thing that I think Craig will be talking about, is things that have happened that have broken our soul or our spirit, that have actually attached to a place in our body that is now in pain or suffering or has presented an illness, and we can be set free from those things.
Yeah, you're a little light in your steps today then, too, aren't you, as a result?
Yes, because I got to eat bread,
All
which I
right.
can't always eat bread. It's a red letter day for me.
Absolutely. And I think from the business standpoint too, Dawn, I think, again, somebody that operates Princeton clubs, getting the body healthy is another big step. And it sounds like that's where he started, right?
Absolutely. He has a great story of where he started. And when he was a young man, about college age, he was with a group of people all in the same church, all in the same large group of young people. And he felt so much on the outside because he wasn't going into full-term ministry, because he was called to business. And he didn't understand. He always felt like he was a little bit on the outside until God helped him understand that your business is your ministry. So he has been blessed in every way in business, and he's so willing to share that. But certainly we see the hand of God blessing him financially and in all aspects of the business realm. And he has something truly to share with us. And he wants to let people know that there really is no separation between what you're called to do if you do it as unto the Lord, and find out what it is God wants from us, and then go and do that with all your heart.
I know you want people there for the whole weekend, but let's say somebody can only make it Saturday. Is that possible as well?
Oh, sure. We welcome anyone who wants to come, and for any part of that as well.
Great. Mike, anything else that you'd like to add today?
I just like to say I actually saw Craig Miller working with people in Chicago about a year and a half ago. I was there at one of the conferences, and it was so amazing to me what I saw, that people were being healed from these traumas. So people, if you've got trauma in your life, come to this conference. I mean, this guy is amazing at it. And lives changed in a short amount of time. There's oftentimes layer upon layer of effects from traumatic experiences in people's life. And you mentioned sometimes we kind of put it in the back of the head and you think, well, it's not even affecting me anymore. And it turns out it is affecting people. So Craig really is worth coming to. Dave Gary is worth coming to, but if anybody can come, get signed up. There is the Facebook page on the Midwest Regional Hub is very good. It's got all the information that's needed, so go there.
I think what speaks to any member of the audience is that trauma could be relational trauma as well. So we think of trauma as a car accident or some kind of a bad injury or some other thing. But there are relational traumas that people carry as well, and we've seen him unlock that key for individuals who are in that situation as well. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't have to be a tremendous trauma and a building explosion or anything. Sometimes relational traumas are just enough to set our course a little bit differently than what God intended.
Well, we hope we reach somebody today, or lots of people. Robin?
Yes, one more thing. If someone really needs to come to this conference and they cannot make that happen financially, please contact us, because we do have some sponsored tickets.
Wonderful.
So the contact would be Newhouse Richland. You can find us on the website, and the phone number 647-7226. You'll get a recording. Leave a message. We'll get back with you.
Hubfest this weekend in Richland Center. Mike Brenninger, Dawn Behrens, and Robin Cosgrove. Thanks to you guys for coming in the studio.
Thank you for having us.
You bet.